Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a Q&A. I did a Q&A like notification video a few days ago, and so today I wanted to answer all of your questions. The questions are going to be from YouTube and Instagram, so I'm just going to combine the two, but that's not going to be a problem. So I don't even want to talk too much because I think the video is going to be quite long, so let's just get into it. I have my laptop right here because I'm filming with my iPhone, so the laptop will have to do, but that's no problem, I don't think. So yeah, I think I'm just going to start with YouTube. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so the first question is from, I'm so sorry if I say your name wrong, Norsang Tamang. I think you already left a question for my last Q&A, right? And you always comment on my video, so I definitely do recognize you, and so yeah, love you. Okay, so she asks, I wanted to know which country you are from. I would really love to meet you in person. Well, thanks. I would also really like to meet you. I'm from Germany, so yeah, that's probably a bit difficult for most of you guys because, I mean, I do know that I have German viewers, but I don't think that it's the majority, but I'm not sure. Maybe I should go to like the YouTube statistics, but yeah, but I'm from Germany. All right, next question. Okay, so this is from Hannah. Hi Nina, first of all, I love your videos and I'm so thankful that you make me feel a lot better about myself and my anorexia. I just wanted to ask how you can eat enough to recover over the whole day and don't start binge eating in the evenings. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for that question, Hannah. I'm so glad that I can somewhat help you in your recovery, even though you see me struggle, right? But that's a very difficult question to answer because binge eating is something that I'm like a bit struggling with at the moment as well. Although I have to tell you, I'm making progress. Like yesterday, I bought all the snacks that I wanted again, but I did not binge even though I had them. So I just had like serving sizes and I was okay, so making progress there. Well, my recommendation for you is do not restrict like during the day. That is like my #1 tip, because during the day you think, oh, I'm fine, I will get through, and then you're really disciplined like throughout the day, but that discipline kind of wears off at night. I feel like, at least for me, it's the same. So I would really tell you, like after lunch, like most of the time you crave something sweet, right? So if you do crave something sweet after lunch, just have like something, even though you don't have to have it like 100%. Like sometimes I'm craving something sweet, but I don't like need to have it, but still have it, because if you don't, it's more likely that you will binge later on because you deprive yourself at that time. So what I'm doing now is, for example, after lunch I will have a yogurt, or I will have a few pieces of chocolate, or sometimes I will have an ice cream or something, and that I felt helped a lot with binging. And so #1 tip, do not restrict. Don't be too like health obsessive. That's something I also really struggled with, but it doesn't work like in the long run. It just doesn't. So yeah, make sure that your meals are big enough. Like make sure that your portions are well, relatively big, so you're full, and have snacks throughout the day so you don't like get huge cravings. So tip 1, have regular meals, make sure the portions are big enough. always have like some type of dessert type thing if you feel like it, and snack. That is like what I found out to be helpful. All right, so next question. The writing is in kanji and I can't read all kanji. I mean, I know a few because I learned Japanese, but I can't read all of them. So the first is watashi wa something. I'm sorry, I can't say your name, but your question is, when and how did you start realizing you had anorexia? That's a good question. Well, it all started with me losing weight when I was around 18 years old. At that point I was, well, I would say I was relatively chubby because I'm very petite, so my weight wasn't like in the unhealthy range or anything, but you know, it shows more when you're a smaller person because like your height doesn't really even out like your body weight, you know. You probably know what I mean. I just can't really describe it because I'm not very good at describing things. But so I started losing weight and it felt great and I just wanted to keep going, and I got all these compliments, and I started to think of ways how I could reduce like my calories more and more and more. So I cut out all snacks, all unhealthy things. I didn't cook with oil anymore, no fat at all. So I didn't go out with friends to eat anymore. I didn't eat the meals my mom cooked anymore, so I always made my own meals. Because you know, what my mom cooked would always have fat or something. So once my parents told me how crazy I was being, and once I saw that the number on the scale was only going down and I could not like think of anything else but food and weight, that is probably when I realized that I had anorexia. But let me tell you, that took the longest time. So it probably took like a good year and a half until I realized that I was actually anorexic. And for the first few months that my parents told me I was anorexic, I would always like deny it and be like, no, I don't have anorexia, I don't have a problem. So that is probably how that happened. So the next question is from Alex. I also recognize you because you always comment on my videos, so thank you so much. So your question is, would you consider doing a meetup? And I mean, I would like to say yes, because obviously I would love to meet you guys, but obviously I'm like a really small YouTuber, so that doesn't really make sense. And also I think that most of my viewers are spread like around Europe and maybe a bit in the United States, just around the world, I guess. So I don't think that there would be like a place to really have a meetup. And yeah, as I said, I'm just a really small YouTuber. Even though I would really love to meet you guys, I don't think that's going to happen soon. I mean, I'm not sure what will happen with this channel. Even though I'm so grateful for 2,000 subscribers, I don't see myself as ever being like a really big YouTuber, and that's fine because I love that the community is sort of like a family, and yeah, I would really love to keep it that way. I mean, obviously I wouldn't mind if like my channel grew a lot more, but I just like the way it is now, so. But I would love to meet you. Okay, next question. So Lindsay Faye asks, how old were you when you developed an eating disorder and how long did it last? So, as I said before, it was around 18 that I developed my eating disorder. And how long did it last? Well, I'm like 20 now, so I mean until now. So that's around 2 years, I guess. I mean, I would say that I'm over the worst part of my eating disorder, but there are obviously still like behaviors that I still struggle with. So I would say a good 2 years. Alright, so an anonymous user asks, I like your username. My question is, what's one show you are currently watching and would recommend to others? That's a very interesting question, because at the moment I'm just watching like shit. I'm so sorry, but I'm not particularly watching any good shows. The last show I finished was Good Morning Call on Netflix. Probably most of you guys don't even know it, but it's like a Japanese drama, like a love comedy drama, and I watched that with French subtitles because I wanted to improve my Japanese and my French at the same time. So that's why I watched the show, and it was like very light-hearted and easy to understand and really funny. So I really enjoyed that show. I could definitely recommend it to you guys, but it's probably not what you were like hoping for. But let me think. I like the new season of Jessica Jones. I like all Marvel type of things. I mostly watch Netflix originals, I would say. And I don't think I was ever really disappointed with a Netflix original. So that's probably one of the things that I really enjoy watching and that I could recommend to you guys. But if I can think of anything else, I will put it in the video, because most of the time I need a bit more time to reflect, and then I'll have some more ideas. But yeah, so the next question is from Mariska Vries. What is your biggest fear? What's my biggest fear? I think one of my biggest fears is that my parents die. Is that weird? No, I don't think that's too weird. So yeah, I'm really afraid that my parents will die like sooner than like they would have to, you know what I mean? Like through an accident or something. Or generally that family, like a part of my family dies. So also my siblings, so my 2 brothers and my half-sister. Well, I have 1 regular brother and 2 half-siblings, so 1 half-brother and 1 half-sister. Yeah, my cousins, I don't know, generally that family dies, I'm really afraid of that. I'm afraid of losing my health, I guess, so a lot of health-related things. Yeah, what else? I'm afraid of ever like being jobless and homeless, just like regular adult things. And when I was younger, and even still now, this is TMI, very TMI, but I was always afraid of like being infertile. Sorry, I just really don't know how to really pronounce that, but you get what I mean. And funnily enough, can you even say that? I don't even think so. But I most likely have endometriosis because my half-sister has it too, and I have all the symptoms, and so I'm going to the doctor to like sort that out. But if that's the case, then one of my biggest fears might actually come somewhat true. But I'm still positive, always stay positive. All right, so next question. Schweigilein, that's German, asks, maybe you can talk about your feet, so your toes and your fingers, because you had these surgeries. Right, so in one of my videos, I think in the video that I talked about my left hand, I talked about that my toes are a bit like deformed because I had surgery, but there's nothing really to it. I mean, they removed a few bones and put them in my hand. I mean, it sounds a lot worse than it is, but that's really all. I mean, I would love to tell you more, but that's really it. So I'm sorry, but if you have any like specific questions, you can definitely leave them in the comments below and I will try to answer them. But yeah, okay. So next question is from Petite Poodoo. I also recognize you, so thank you so much for always commenting. And she asks, I wanted to know what your boyfriend thinks about your eating disorder and your eating disorder recovery. Was the relationship affected? Well, it definitely affects the relationship, like 100%. Because, you know, as a couple, obviously, like, you have dinner together or you go out, like, to the movies and you do stuff and, like, you sort of live together, more or less, a little bit. So when you spend more time with someone, then the other person definitely, like, gets to know you in that way. So it definitely affects the relationship. But he's very, very supportive. He knows everything. And I told him pretty early on. But he really tries to be supportive, and he is very supportive. He knows that I do YouTube, and well, initially I really tried to like hide the whole YouTube thing from him. But I don't do that anymore. And he's, as I said, he's very supportive, so he really encourages me to do the YouTube, and I'm really grateful for that. And so, yeah, but he's really supportive, and yeah, things are pretty okay in that regard. But, you know, sometimes like when we have dinner, it's a bit difficult because like he doesn't have a problem eating really late, which obviously like most people don't have a problem with unless you're, yeah, a bit weird. But so when he eats very late at night, I typically wouldn't eat anything, and so that's a bit awkward, I guess. So yeah, it definitely is a bit of a problem sometimes, but yeah. So next question, SNL asks, what is your hair care routine, and what kind of products do you use? Good question. So maybe I should like show you the products. I'm sorry, my storage was full, but it's all good now. So the products I use are just from the drugstore. So I use the Garnier Fructis Schadenlöscher for all of you Germans. So yeah, it's for a damaged hair that is yeah, that's dyed, and you know, all of these things. So I mean, my hair is not naturally that light. I'm naturally blonde, but it's not that light naturally, so I do dye my roots every, I want to say like 6 weeks. I used to do it every month, so every 4 weeks, but I don't do it anymore because I feel like it's still very damaging. But because my hair is a little bit damaged, I mean, it's still very, very nice, so it doesn't really feel like dry or anything, but I use this for damaged hair. So I use the shampoo, this thing, and also the conditioner. And then when I do go to the hairdresser to like get my roots done, I will use a few more expensive, a bit more expensive products. So this is the bed hair from Tigi, and it's Urban Antidotes, perfect for weak, brittle hair that needs an intervention. So this is the conditioner, and it's, well, like strength 3, so the strength level. So I think it's like in the middle of it, of like the scale of damaged hair. And this is the shampoo, so it's the same thing. Perfect for weak, brittle hair that needs an intervention. So these are a bit more expensive, but especially like right after you dye your hair, you need a really good conditioner. So that's why I will use these more expensive products right after I get my hair done. But that's really it. I mean, I don't really spend a lot of money on my hair. I would say that I spend more money on my skin products because I feel like skin is still a little bit more important than hair, because hair can like regenerate itself, but once your skin is shit, it's shit forever. So wow. Anyway, I hope that helped. But yeah, so the last question is from Julia Binder. I also see you commenting a lot, so thank you so much. How do you want your life to be in like 15 years from now? Kids, job, where do you want to live, etc. So that's a good question. I mean, I think I'm very like simple in that regard. So in 15 years, I definitely want to like have a family and a husband and have a nice house with a yard maybe, you know, for the kids, right? No. And I want to have a really nice job. I want to work as an elementary school teacher. And maybe I would like to still do my fitness trainer job as like a part-time thing. So yeah, but I could also imagine doing like room decor or something, or like, how do you say that? In design, Germans, can you help me? But like designing like the interior of apartments and houses, like that's something I'm also really interested in, but not really for like my like first job. I would just maybe do it part-time or something, but definitely like my teacher job and well, teaching job and the fitness trainer thing, I would love to keep that up. And yeah, but have children, definitely. That's like my biggest like dream in life, is to have children and a family. Oh, and I also want to travel the world, definitely. So I want to travel loads. I mean, I've always done it because I was really fortunate to like grow up in a family that traveled a lot, but I would still love to travel to all the places in the world, really. I mean, I want to see it all. Yeah, well, but I do realize that that might not be possible. It's a huge privilege to be able to travel. I do realize that, and it costs a lot of money, and yeah, but I would still love to travel. So, oh, and where I want to live. I could definitely imagine like moving abroad, and if it's not forever, then at least for like a certain period of time, maybe like a few years, like 5 years or so. But I could definitely imagine that, and maybe I would like to go maybe back to the United States, but I've already been there, so maybe not. I could also imagine like Hong Kong or Japan or Canada, maybe Australia, France. Yeah, that's probably like the place, maybe even the Canary Islands, but yeah, so many places I would definitely love to settle down in, at least for like a few years. Alright, so I think there was one more question, but it's not on this video, so let me just quickly find that, and yeah, I'll see you in a YouTube second. Julia also asked how I learned English. When I was younger, my parents and I lived in the United States, so we lived in Maryland, and so I grew up there for, I want to say like 4 years, but sometimes we went back to Germany for like a month or so. But yeah, that definitely helped a lot with my English. And then later on, I also went to high school in Connecticut, and that also definitely improved my English a lot, but it's still not perfect, and I know it. So most of the time when I'm making mistakes, I know that I'm making mistakes, but they still happen like as I speak, because you know, I'm not perfect, I'm not a native speaker, so but I give my best. So yeah, but that's how I learned English. And so I still have some questions from Instagram. So let me just quickly get to these. Okay. Oh no, actually there's one more question from Penny McDonald. I also recognize you, so thank you so much. And she asks, I was wondering if your mom/parents were supportive during your recovery in the early days. Did they have a hard time understanding your anorexia? Well, they were very supportive, definitely. But at the time that they were being supportive, I was not very open for like support and help. So I was really annoyed by them being supportive, even though they obviously just wanted the best for me. But at the time I didn't realize that, and I didn't want to get better. So yeah, they definitely were very supportive, but sometimes like their strategies were very radical. So they used to always tell me that I was going to die, and that yeah, I was going to just go to bed and never wake up anymore. Those were like the kind of things they were telling me. I know that it came from a place of like anxiety, I guess, because obviously like if it's a family member, I mean, if it was my sister, I would be just as anxious, and so maybe I would also go to like these drastic yeah, I would also say like these radical things. But and then they also sometimes try to force feed me, so they would try to like feed me very high, like very calorically dense foods, and I would just like reject them or throw them away or just throw them on the floor or something like a toddler, I realize now. So I was really being like, I was tough. I was very tough. But they were very supportive, and they also got me like all the therapy. They looked for treatment for me, so they were very supportive. And did they have a hard time understanding? Yes, because I mean, anorexia doesn't really make sense if you have like a clear mind, because yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, why would you want to ruin your life, right? So it was a bit hard for them to understand, but my mom definitely tried. Like, she was definitely the one, and my brother too, they were definitely trying to like understand my situation. Okay, so sorry for not being so, yeah. Anyway, next question is from Pink Flamingo, and he or she asks, how have you started with YouTube? Any tips? And do your classmates know? Love you. Oh, I also love you. Well, I love you too. Sorry. How I started with YouTube, I think I saw like these recovery videos, like these what I eat in recovery videos, and I was really inspired by them. And that was like the very, very early stages of my recovery, and so I thought I just would like to try it, and I just did. I uploaded my first video, and I was really surprised by like how many people actually watched it. I think by now it has around 50,000 views, so I was really like surprised that so many people were interested, and so I just kept going, I guess. And that's how I started YouTube. And if I have any tips, I mean, you hear it all the time, but it's really true. You just have to like do it. You just have to do it. There's really like no recipe for doing YouTube. Yeah, I mean, as you do your YouTube videos, you start to like become more clickbait. I mean, I notice it with myself. I used to be so annoyed when people do like these clickbaity titles, but now I sort of do them too. So yeah, I would say that that can help, but I wouldn't like overdo it because people will get fed up with it. And I mean, I probably lost a good few subscribers because of it. I mean, I can't blame them. I don't like clickbait, but like you tend to do that. You just do. But just do it, just try it out. If you have something, if you like have a message to get across, if you want to share something, if you're passionate about something, then people will most likely be interested in what you have to say, because if you come from a point of passion, then people will realize like they will be able to like relate a lot more, and so that definitely helps. Did my classmates know? So when I still went to school, I think I started YouTube when I finished school, so I mean a few of them found out, I think, but I never really told them like face to face. I told like one or two of my best friends, so they knew. And yeah, now that I'm in university, I think, yeah, probably like 2-3 people know, but I would say the majority doesn't, and I would rather keep it that way because, yeah, I mean, not everybody has to know that I messed up in the head, right? So, yeah. Okay, next question. What is your height? I'm not sure who asked that. I think it was Petit Poodoo. I'm not sure, but anyway, what is my height? So I'm 155 centimeters. I think that's around 5'2", 5'2", I think, but I'm not exactly sure. So I'm 155 centimeters, so I'm very, very petite. I'm very, very small. So the last question, finally. I'm sorry it took so long. What is your worst fear food? And this comes from Sarah Koffler on Instagram. What's my worst fear food? I would say anything liquid calorie, like soda and frappuccinos, these type of things. What else? Very fatty foods. Although I have to say that I don't really even have fear foods anymore. And that's really, so see, the thing why my binges were really, really good is because like they took away my fear from food, because now I literally eat anything. I will eat butter on toast, and not just like tiny amounts. I will eat like a proper amount. I will eat Nutella and peanut butter, so all these like calorically dense spreads that I used to never even touch. Yeah, so I eat like a lot of cheese on pizza or something that I also used to never do. I used to always like peel off the cheese from pizza, which is crazy. I mean, that's the best part, right? I mean, what? Anyway, so yeah, but liquid calories are still very, very hard, and I would never like choose that. But I mean, even before my eating disorder, I never had liquid calories. I mean, I would have like coffee here and there, even though I'm coffee intolerant. That's not even like a thing, but for me it kind of is a thing. I can't drink coffee. But yeah, other than that, I really don't have a fear food anymore, which is great. I mean, I'm happy with it. So I think these are all the questions. So thank you so much for yeah, leaving all these questions. I definitely had a lot of fun answering them. And also thank you so much for 2,000 subscribers. That's crazy to me. I never thought I would ever have 2,000 subscribers when I created this channel. So yeah, it's it's amazing. I mean, I'm so happy about it. I love reading all your comments. I will always answer your comments. I will always read your comments. It's the best part of my day. And also, if you don't follow me on Instagram already, maybe you could do so, because I always have really fun stories on there. I upload them daily.